It was the best-selling vehicle of any type in the world for 2023 and 2024, and most likely 2025. Hi, this is Joe from Way Scarff Ford in Isuzu, and today we're talking about this 2024 Tesla Model Y long range. Let's dive in. So much to talk about with these Tesla products, and I kid you not, the Model Y, if you don't believe it, not the best-selling EV, but the best-selling vehicle in the world for 2023 and 2024. So all those Tesla haters or people trying to occupy Tesla and shut them down, well, they're going to have a hard time. And realistically, I think, it's a minority of people doing that, and a lot of it's overblown. So maybe if you have some concerns about buying a Tesla and being harassed or getting vandalized, I think it's probably really overblown. I've been driving a Tesla Model 3 myself. I have other vehicles. I have a Ford as well, but my daily driver is a Tesla Model 3, and I can tell you I have not had anyone harass me, try to vandalize it, give me the bird or anything like that. The only caveat, maybe if you have a Tesla Cybertruck, that's a little bit more polarizing. That might get you some unwanted attention, but there are so many Teslas on the road. Go on the highway, throw a rock, and you're probably going to hit a Tesla. So they're all over the place, and they're fantastic vehicles. Tesla has been making EVs pretty much longer than everyone, and more EVs than everyone. The first Tesla came out, I think it was right around 2008 with the Tesla Roadster. Then we saw the Tesla Model S in 2012. So there's millions of Teslas on the road, and they've proven to be very reliable and robust. Some have many hundreds of thousands of miles on the original batteries. It's actually turning out that EVs are lasting longer than gas cars. I know a few years ago there was all like this disinformation out there. Oh, what are you going to do when the battery goes bad? What's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen when your engine goes bad in your car? That's just as expensive sometimes to replace as the battery. But the EVs are actually proven to last longer. The average gas car life expectancy is about 150,000 miles. And we see Teslas pretty regularly going up to 200,000 miles plus, with still 90% of the battery capacity. EVs are very simple. They have only dozens of moving parts. Think about how complex an internal combustion engine is. Or even like a hybrid vehicle, that's even more complex when you're combining a gas motor and electric powertrain together. Complexity leads to more issues and less reliability. That's why EVs are so fantastic. Very little maintenance to do, no big oil changes, no big 30, 60, 90K services, no changing spark plugs, no fuel induction services, no timing belts to change, no coolant flushes, no catalytic converters to go bad or emission control system issues, no catalytic converters to steal. I can go on and on. It's literally like owning an appliance. The only service you're going to really do is maybe wiper blades. Well, you're obviously going to do wiper blades, a cabin filter, tires, and aside from that, that's pretty much it. With regenerative braking, the brakes in these things last forever. They last almost as long as a car. 150 plus thousand miles sometimes with regenerative braking. The reason is that EVs and hybrids use regenerative braking, so what they do is they reverse the polarity of the electric motors, turning them into generators. So normally all that kinetic energy you lose through heat, through braking, that is recaptured and put back into the battery, making them so much more efficient. And this car has a fully charged range of over 300 miles. And the amazing thing about that, and this is another, argument I can disprove. A lot of people say, well, you might charge your EV, and you use electricity, but that electricity you charge your EV comes from dirty energy. Well, even if that's the case, likely for us here in the Pacific Northwest, we get a majority of our electricity from clean hydroelectric. But if you live in other parts of the country or the world where you do get your electricity from dirty energy, well, Teslas and EVs will generally use that energy more efficiently. This has a 300 plus mile range, but the battery holds the amount of energy as about 2.5 gallons of gas. So this vehicle is so efficient that with the equivalent of 2.5 gallons of gas versus energy in the battery, it can go 300 miles, where most other vehicles can go less than 100 miles off 2.5 gallons of gas. So yes, EVs still are very efficient, and they save energy even if you get your electricity from dirty power. And even though it might look like a conventional car with four wheels on it, it might look a little bit different, but the Teslas are far different than most other vehicles. These are pretty much like computers or robots on wheels. The vehicle has a whole synergy about it that's pretty much unparalleled to any other vehicle. And the reason why is Tesla, they are a vertically integrated company, so most of the parts, so the majority of the parts and software and computers and chips and stuff they use in the vehicle, they write the firmware for it, they source it, so they have a overall control of the vehicle, the way everything connects together. That's far more intimate than a lot of other car manufacturers, which rely a lot of times like on third-party, parts makers like Bosch or things like that to make components for their vehicles. A lot of car manufacturers these days, they don't make a lot of the parts. They make the engines, but they just basically have other companies make the parts and they assemble the cars in their factories. Not so much the case with Teslas. And the Model Y is actually one of the most American-made vehicle you can buy in the United States. All the Teslas that are sold in the United States are built and assembled in the USA, and more of their parts come locally versus any other vehicle. There's no other vehicle that's more American made than a Tesla vehicle. I think even the 3-in-Y are up there with, out of all the Teslas, some of the most American made as far as where even the parts and stuff come from. And just to show you the depth of how amazing this vehicle is and how it is a technological masterpiece, take a look at this. I don't recommend you messing around with this yourself. You can look in there, but don't mess around with settings. This is generally for internal use by Tesla techs. So what we're doing is we're going to go into service mode, which the Tesla repair facilities use. But usually a lot of cars, they need like an external diagnostic computer to look at these systems and check things out. But this whole car, the way it's all connected together, it's synergy, it's a rolling diagnostic computer on wheels. You can find information about all the cameras. There are so many cameras around the whole vehicle. You can get information about the speakers. I mean, look at all this information, it's insane. This is information about the modem. This has an internet modem, so with premium connectivity, you can stream data right in your vehicle. You don't even need to connect your phone. The information about the high voltage battery. There's no other vehicle that I've seen that has this amount of information internalized in the vehicle. This shows you the way the electricity is passing through the vehicle, the energy use. These are the drive units. This is a HVAC system that has a heat pump in it, making it very efficient in colder weather. This is the coolant system. Tesla's amazing octo-valve heat pump is revolutionary as far as heat pumps go. You have alignment information, the TPMS system, the steering information. There's the brake system. Yeah, so if you go in there, don't start messing around with settings. Just look around, but you can mess up your vehicle. I just recommend staying out of it. This is just an example of how this thing seriously is like it's not a conventional car. This is a computer on wheels. It's a rolling computer. This is very, very different than most other vehicles on the road. It's amazing. And the level of connectivity that you have with this vehicle is unparalleled. There's a depth to this screen that I've not seen in any other vehicle. I've been in the car business 30 years. I love cars. I'm excited about all sorts of cars. V8 supercharged Mustangs with manual transmissions. I love that stuff too. But I also see the writing on the wall, and I see products like this, and me experiencing it with my own Tesla. It just blows me away, the amount of connectivity you have. And it's not just a vehicle, just like even the Tesla smartphone app, the level of synergy that you have. I can, just as long as I have my phone, I can walk up, I can get my car and drive it. I don't even need a key. I can open my trunk. I can preheat the car. I can pull up live camera views. I mean, I can go on and on. So we have a fantastic HVAC system. It's just kind of like using a tablet. Tesla's user interface is almost like it was designed by Apple. So we have front and rear heated seats. We have a heated steering wheel. This has a giant HEPA filter in the front that's about the size of the HEPA filter in your home HVAC system. It's like 8 times bigger than the next biggest HEPA filter in any other vehicle. And they have this thing called Bioweapon Defense Mode. And what this does, it's actually pressurizing the air inside the cabin. So the only way air can come inside is through that giant HEPA filter. And this HEPA filter is amazing. It can filter out allergens, pollutants, harmful particles. People like in forest fires, they were taking refuge inside their Teslas with the Bioweapon Defense Mode, and it was working fantastic. Then we also have the great things like the dog mode. So you can keep your pooch in here, and it'll keep the vehicle at a happy temperature. You can even pull up the live cameras and check on your pooch, make sure he's okay, and a message is on the screen with a dog on it. Don't worry, my owner will return soon. And we also have a camp mode. So the camp mode will allow you to watch the infotainment system, heat or cool the vehicle without having other systems sapping energy away from the battery. So you can actually camp for a pretty long time just off camp mode. Of course, we have Tesla's amazing Autopilot, which is traffic-aware cruise control, which will follow the lines in the road. It works on regular roads, or it works on the highway. You do need to be extra diligent. Like on regular roads, it's not going to stop for stop signs or red lights. It's not going to, change lanes or anything like that. But you can get a lot of mileage off of Autopilot on like country back roads or in stop and go traffic. You can go a long time without intervening with Autopilot. And where a lot of other systems need to be reset if they come down to a complete stop, it's not the case of on Autopilot. I was driving a Volvo that had their ProPilot Assist Polestar, and every time it came to a complete stop, I had to reset it. Not the case of Autopilot. Little things like that make a big difference. This also has Tesla's Hardware 4, which is their latest full self-driving computer. I have full self-driving my Tesla. It's amazing. I have about a 12-mile commute, and I hardly ever touch the steering wheel. I put in my destination, the car makes left and right-hand turns, merges on highway, passes slower cars. It's amazing. You do need to pay attention and be diligent. It does get confused and it does get mixed up, so you have to intervene every once in a while. But like I said, most of the time, I'm not touching the steering wheel at all on my commute. And it's not on this vehicle, but you can try it out. They give out free trials to new owners, or it's available for $99 a month, or you can buy it for $8,000. And I've been using it for a long time. When I first used it, it was really wonky, but over their updates have improved it, and it will continue to get even better with more over the updates. There's another update actually ready to download in this vehicle right now. And for $99 a month to have a vehicle take the workload of driving is a big deal. I like driving on beautiful roads, but just the mental energy it takes to keep your vehicle centered and staying on the highway, things like that. Whenever I put on these driving assists, I can feel a whole weight lifted off my shoulders. I can feel my blood pressure drop a little bit. And sometimes it's a little bit nerve-wracking if you've never had a car drive you before, but once you get used to it, it's relaxing because you eventually get to know the threshold. You know when the vehicle is going to get in stuck situations. You get a good feel for it. It's just like anything. You get to know the limitations of the system. But every time they update it, there's an update coming out pretty soon right now that we have to download that might even improve it. With every update, the bar is set even higher. And Tesla, they're amazing with over their updates. This vehicle is actually one of the few vehicles that gets better with age. A lot of vehicles just get older and obsolete, but the over-the-air updates keep it relevant. My car, over the almost 3 years since I've owned it, has gained features. It's gotten better since I've owned it. They're constantly adding video games. They're improving the safety of the driver's assist systems and the passive safety systems. They're adding more things to watch. Like you can't do this while you're driving, but with the premium connectivity, which streams data right into the vehicle, you can watch Netflix, YouTube. You can play video games. So you can get like an Xbox-style controller, or you can play some of the video games just on the screen, or you can even use the steering wheel and brakes to do some of the driving games. Then we have the toy box, like a vehicle can play a light show. You have the silly things like the whoopee cushion. You have a colorizer where you can change your vehicle's avatar. So maybe if you decide to wrap it, you can have your vehicle's avatar match the color of the wrap. There's a boom box where you can play music through the horn. Maybe if you're having a picnic or something and you want to have some music, it can play music right through the audio system, through the horn. Or you can change the sound of the horn. You can make it sound like a fart or a goat. There's like a multi-track recorder. There's romance mode. Some of the things are kind of like a parlor trick and silly. Some of the things are actually really helpful. Like I said, there's a whole depth to this screen that is unparalleled by any other vehicle. I haven't seen any other vehicle with so much depth and programmability, adjustability for a vehicle in a screen like this. And remember, hard buttons and knobs, they're there forever. This is infinitely reconfigurable. And the thing is, you don't need to mess around with settings on the screen. I mean, it's pretty intuitive once you get the hang of it, but there's 140 different voice commands. And I watch car reviews and they miss this all the time. They're like, well, I like this car better because on the Tesla you have to go through the screen, but they don't even realize you can not even take your eyes off the road and make a lot of changes to this vehicle without even having to go in the screen. You can just use voice commands. For instance, you can say, make it warmer. Every time I say make it warmer, it'll raise the temperature a little bit. Make it warmer. So you can keep on raising the temperature until you get it comfortable, and likewise you can go, make it cooler. And it'll lower the temperature. Or it can be like, wipers on 1. And the wipers are on. Wipers off. Rear defroster on. Rear defroster off. Yeah, there's 140 different voice commands. I don't even know them all. So like I said, you can do a lot without even having to taking your eyes off the road while you're driving, or go and mess around and swipe around the screen. Sorry, I just have a tendency to ramble on about these Teslas just because they're so different than any other vehicle on the road. A lot of times I can do a walk around video in about 4 or 5 minutes, but it just always seems to take longer with these Teslas. It's kind of minimalist styling, the wedge-like styling. It's really grown on me. I love the way these look. This thing looks fantastic in black. And this is a 24 with about 5,000 miles, so it's in pretty much near new condition. Since we don't have an engine up here, we have a frunk, which is also a safety feature because you have a crumple zone that's 60% larger than a car with an engine in its front. So you have all this space to absorb crash energy in a frontal collision. You also have the weight of the batteries very, very low. That's like a keel. It's like a keel or anchor, keeping the vehicle planted to the ground, so it has sports car-like handling. And again, that's also a safety feature. This has one of the lowest rollover risks out of any other vehicle, any other SUV on the road, thanks to the weight of the battery. Even if it does roll over and end up on its roof, it's going to flop right down back on its wheels. And one of the biggest causes of a major injury in a vehicle accident is when the vehicle rolls over. So having a vehicle that has the lowest rollover risk as possible really makes a vehicle a lot safer. We have this huge glass roof panel, allow lots of natural light inside, and you can get inserts like they have them on Amazon or from Tesla to block the sunlight out when it gets too bright out and too hot. They work fantastic. The Model Y is a compact, but since we have a clean sheet design in the inside, we don't have exhaust systems, we don't have drive shafts, we don't have gas tanks that allows for a completely flat floor. So you have a lot more space in the Model Y than a comparable gas-powered compact crossover. Look how much headroom I have. I'm 6'2". I had that front seat adjuster for my height. Look how much legroom I have back here. Very spacious, very comfortable. So there's a different configurations of the Tesla Model Y. You can get rear-wheel drive ones. This is a dual motor all-wheel drive, so it has a motor in the front and a motor in the back. Also makes it really quick. It's like having 2 engines. 0 to 60 is under 5 seconds. There's also an update you can get that will unlock more power, the acceleration boost upgrade that adds like 100 horsepower, unlocks 100 horsepower. It makes it even quicker. Even though this is a kind of like a wedge-shaped, minimalist electric SUV, you can put a lot of purpose-built sports cars to shame in a drag race. Not to encourage you to do that. Lots of space back here as well. We have this really cool cargo area cover. The thing I like about Tesla is that it uses a lot of magnets and stuff to hold us in place. Where a lot of other manufacturers have plastic clips and stuff. That's a weak point. I can't tell you how many of these cargo area covers that are broken. You have flimsy, cheap plastic that breaks and cracks. Tesla's philosophy is the best part is no part. Complexity just increases problems. So they have a minimalist philosophy even with their accessories, which work really well. And of course that's fully removable as well, and you can fold down those rear seats for camp mode or for turning into like a cargo van for those big Costco or IKEA trips. A lot of storage back here, but we're not done yet. There's even more storage under here. This is a really large storage area. Since there's no gas tank or exhaust system, that's more storage. Then we have additional storage on both sides. Pretty amazing. A very easy vehicle to live with. For a lot of people, once you experience a vehicle like this for a couple of weeks and all these cool systems, all the cool technology, it's hard to go back to a regular vehicle. Not having to go to a gas pump is fantastic. Not having to dish out a lot of money for dealer service is fantastic. Tesla has mobile service, so a lot of simple things like wiper blades, cabin filters, they can come to your work or your home and they can perform the service. And Tesla's service and repairs are actually really economical compared to what a lot of other service departments charge. Here's a great example. We recently had a Kia Niro. Kias are supposed to be affordable, right? Well, you had a Kia Niro EV and the infotainment screen went bad in it. And it's not a big fancy infotainment screen like this. It's a very simple, it looks like it could be from 10 years ago. Well, Kia wants $4,000 for a new infotainment screen. One time we had a Tesla of a cracked display and they replaced this whole screen for $1,200. Yeah, $1,200 is a lot of money, but this is a pretty fancy, display. To replace this whole screen for $1,200 just shows you, the magic of being a vertically integrated company like Tesla. They're factory direct. They don't have parts middlemen, franchises that, you have levels, a stepping stair of markup. You're dealing directly with the factory. So Teslas tend to be pretty economical to repair. There's really nothing on this car that could break that would be exorbitantly expensive. The only caveat is the drive units and the electric motors. Yeah, those can be expensive and you have to replace it, but a lot of the other things like the headlights, things like that, there's nothing like on a BMW or a Mercedes or a Lexus that could cost $4,000 or $5,000. Like a new headlight on this thing might be like $1,200 for a comparable, and you're going to compare this to a premium vehicle like a BMW or Mercedes or Lexus. It could be $3,000 or $4,000 for a new headlight assembly. And the battery and drive units, they're under a warranty for a long time. 8 years, 125,000 miles. So this is the balance of an 8-year, 125,000 mile warranty on the battery and the drive units. So it'll be quite a while since you'll even have to worry about the battery or drive units going bad. And it's pretty unlikely they will. Like I said, there are millions of these things on the road. And you can do your own research. You'll see that there's a lot of, Model 3s, Model Ys, well past 100,000 miles. The original battery is running strong. The battery still has like 90% of its original capacity. They are amazing. Can't say enough good things about them. There are so many fantastic cars out there for all sorts of people, but if you're tech savvy, you want the latest in technology, you want something that's completely different than pretty much any other vehicle on the road, look no further than the Tesla Model Y. I think you'll be impressed. Thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.